Hello, today I'll be talking about ScreenCamera.net SDK, the fastest and quickest and most powerful way to integrate video capture, webcam capture, and screen capture inside your applications. Uh, ScreenCamera SDK comes with several modules, and I'm gonna show you them right now. So you've got the application which you can just run, but before I do that, you have the automation client. You've got a local TCP server, and then you got the samples, code samples, so how you can use it, and the selector of webcam, so scheduler, key manager of ScreenCamera.net. So let's run that to start. So in this here PC, I'm running with trial credentials. If you have a key, have purchased the key, then you can enter your new key here, and it should be, if you have purchased, then you can work without the watermark, because that's the limitation you get when you're running as a trial user, is the watermark over the video. Now that I've talked about that, then I'm going to show you the application itself. The application itself is exactly like ScreenCamera.net, except it has a TCP server that talks the API protocol. So I'm gonna show you here on the tools. You got the SDK local TCP server. So I'm gonna execute that, and then later I'm gonna explain what it is about. And then you got the manage SDK internal TCP server. So the application internally has a TCP server, and the way it works is your application connects to the SDK local TCP server, and the SDK local TCP server connects to the application. So why all this? Because that allows you to do remote automation from anywhere. All you need is the IP address of the local TCP server where the program is installed, and then you can use the automation client to connect. So like you could be in another computer, so I can if you have the IP address of the SDK local TCP server, and that's all you need. You can connect with the automation client from anywhere. Right now I'm running on the local machine, so this should work okay. So we're connected. It's running with the user interface visible, and what you can do is exactly all the things that the program can do, you can do with this automation client. Note that this automation client is nothing but a shell for the API, which is a protocol that's the entire SDK is based on this protocol. Let me see if I can show you the help about it. SDK protocol of communication. So this is basically how your program must communicate with the SDK in order to automate ScreenCamera.net. So you got the fundamentals. Like I said, SDK communicates via serialized TCP sockets under client-server architecture. So then there are details about the messages and the parameters and the return. So there are 6 different sub-modules to which the protocol takes care of. One is initialization, then you got a user interface, you got video capture, image capture, video output, and then FX and FXL. This documentation brings every message, and let me show you. These are all SDK messages that you're gonna ping with the SDK TCP server, and you can command it to record video capture, you can command it to stop, and this can be done from the local PC or from any other place where you can have access to the TCP server. So, and there's an entire protocol here, because that's the way you're gonna your application is gonna communicate with ScreenCamera.net SDK. And it's well documented, every call, every message, and you can just to show how that's not difficult. It seems very complicated, but it isn't. I am connected to the TCP local TCP server, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna capture an image. So it did that. I can change it to JPEG, and it's done there. And I'm gonna capture an image in JPEG now, so it's done there as well. And let me show you something else. The user interface, I can make it invisible. Okay. I can set it to be visible again. Okay. Video capture, I can record, stop, and pause, all from this automation client. And the way it's working is the automation client is communicating with the ScreenCamera.net SDK local TCP server. So the automation client is connected to this server, and this server is connected to the internal server of ScreenCamera.net. So that's how it works. It seems complicated, but actually it's simple, and it's powerful, because you can control ScreenCamera.net from any computer. It's just to follow the guidelines and of the protocol, and you can automate any task inside ScreenCamera.net. So just to exemplify a little more, you got video output, you can change the resolution, you can change the color of the background. So let me change the color, and it's gonna show you this. And so I change the color. Let me demonstrate it. So that's as far as so there you go. I changed the color. So that's all TCP conversations going back and forth, and it's well documented API, and you can automate ScreenCamera.net easily with the protocol. So that's what I wanted to show, the automation client in action. And you can record, you can integrate this solution to your monitoring and streaming or recording applications. You can have effects running over this. There's an infinity of possibilities with ScreenCamera.net SDK that you can do it all remotely, just like if you were operating the system from where the software is installed. So that's basically what the SDK is a remote controller of ScreenCamera.net, and the way it works is through TCP messages that go back and forth, and then you have confirmations on the response if it was okay. If it was not okay, the response also brings the error code. so that you can work it inside your own application and solve. So that was it for this tutorial of the ScreenCamera.net SDK. I hope I was able to explain to you a little better how this works, and it's a very powerful tool. And if your company is interested in video capture and webcam capture and screen recording capture from any monitor, then ScreenCamera.net has got your back, and you can let it do all the work absolutely be invisible. It would run under your application and it will never show up, and it gives you all these possibilities. So that was it for this tutorial. Thank you for watching. Let you